Hey everyone, Danny Greco here, and today I really want to talk about something that's been quite topical recently and isn't going away anytime soon. I'm sure if you've read any online article, any physical newspaper, watched the TV, or pretty much just haven't been stuck inside a cave over the last year or so, you've heard about this looming recession and what that might mean for your financial portfolio, your real estate, whatever that may be. This is obviously a topic that can go on for minutes upon hours, if not days. So I'll do my best to be concise with what I want to talk about here. But in regard to home values, recessions, I believe, typically get more credit than they deserve for impacting home values. Part of that, I think, is psychological. And with cause, with good reason, a lot of us are just permanently scarred anytime we hear the recession, because we think of the environment 10 years ago in 2008 and what that looked like for home values especially, and other people's portfolios. And what we have to remember, two things. One, recessions are normal. These are typical in every economic cycle. We go through dips and valleys, good times and bad times, etc. These are normal within an economic cycle. What the recession of 2008 looked like, or what it brought us, was an atomic meltdown. That is a once in a generation, hopefully, type recession that hadn't before that previously been seen since the Great Depression. So to associate that type of recession with just any future recession is irresponsible and not really historically backed. So the first thing we can do is to forget that, because any future looming recession, knock on wood, should not come anywhere close to something that atomic as that meltdown was. Now, secondly, in regard to home values, recessions really don't impact home values, because home values are built around the fundamental supply and demand, of fundamental rule of econ, right? Econ 101. So it's hard, especially in Seattle, to imagine a scenario where a recession really fundamentally alters the dynamics of supply and demand. Housing is always going to be in demand because it's one of the basic necessities everybody needs. They always need housing, and especially in the Puget Sound, that's something we've been very short of for a while, especially affordable housing. So another thing to look at is past history. And if you look at national home appreciation trends, you'd see that over 3 out of the last 5 recessions we've had, home values have actually increased during that time. Now, excluding for the most previous recession, which we all know homes just blew up on a nuclear scale, the only other time values dropped, we're talking about 1%, give or take. So really not a lot. And again, that's because they don't fundamentally affect supply and demand. Another thing to think of too, mortgage rates and lending capacity. When the economy is suffering, or when predictions are grave, rates lower, lenders, banks, they try to do their best to encourage lending, which means dropping rates, which should therefore, in theory, increase affordability. So if people now have more buying power than they had due to lower rates, that should further boost the home buying and selling activity. So obviously, it's a much more complex issue than that, and everyone's personal finances are case-by-case scenarios. So we'll see how this continues, if we do go into a recession, when that happens, what it looks like. But I think there's just a lot of myth and a lot of negative, inaccurate thought that we all collectively kind of share. So it's good to just kind of look over the facts and make our determination from there. So as always, like, click, subscribe. Let me know if you've got any questions or anything you'd like to see me talk about.